Hello, and welcome to AASA's Courageous Leadership Conversations. I'm Summer Kriegshauser, and today we'll be focusing on superintendent leadership in implementing an alternative school breakfast program. Joining me today is Robert Avossa, superintendent of Fulton County Schools in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome, Robert. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share a little bit about our work.
Pleasure to have you here. Robert, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about Fulton County Schools?
Well, Fulton County Schools is a pretty large school system. We're nearing 100,000 students. We're the largest non-contiguous school system in the nation, which means we're broken up into two large geographic areas, north and south of the city of Atlanta. Our free and reduced lunch rate is about 47%. Our demographic breakup is we're a majority minority school system with about 40% of our students African American, a little over 30 Caucasian, a large and fast-growing Hispanic and Asian population as well.
Robert, what unique aspects of overseeing a large county district do you have to deal with when it comes to child hunger, nutrition, and health?
So as a school system, we try to balance out how we can intervene, when to intervene, what programs and processes are available in the community, and we try to connect the need with the resource. Some of the resources we can provide, others we have to go to the local community and say, how can you help us solve some of these issues? On the nutrition side, I think it's important that school systems begin thinking about a farm-to-school program. We've been very successful here in Georgia bringing in more fresh fruits and vegetables right into the schools, and I think that's critical.
Thank you. How do you serve breakfast in your schools?
We've been bringing in grab-and-go breakfast programs where kids can come in quickly, grab a little bagged breakfast. We allow them in some schools to eat in the classroom, and others we find designated areas for them to eat. And we've allowed the schools to really try to customize that to meet the individual need of the school. And also the principal. At the end of the day, this is about change management. It's about giving people an opportunity to own the process.
Great. Now, Robert, what is your role as superintendent in supporting an alternative school breakfast program?
We know that if kids are eating well, they're moving their bodies, they're more ready to learn. And at the end of the day, as superintendent, you have to make the case for that, and you have to give access and time to your food and nutrition folks, to the principals, to share that, the nuanced information that I think principals need to help them understand that it's an important part of the day.
And so what kind of student feedback have you been getting?
So one of the things I'm really proud of is we do food tasting events at schools. We ask our kids to weigh in. You know, our city school systems and county school systems are changing. So we've got some parts of our community that are heavy Asian, for example, and the kids want certain types of foods. You know, listening to what the consumer is saying, providing the manager some option in terms of what we can afford, what meets all the guidelines. I just think it's very important that we do that and we look at those patterns and then bring options to the table for them to solve these issues.
Robert, what would you say to a superintendent who might feel a little reluctant about moving a traditional breakfast in a cafeteria program to breakfast in a classroom, grab and go, etc.?
Well, look, we've seen great results in this area. It's the one area that we've seen a spike in participation. And at the end of the day, there's so much research out there that says if a kid starts the day with a good, nutritious breakfast, they're going to do better in school. That is the first case. Superintendents all are being held accountable for student achievement. Number two, it's the right thing to do. And then number three, try to test the idea in one or two schools and get some feedback, get some traction in the school system, and allow it to occur over time. I think if you mandate programs, they're destined to fail. But if you find some principals and some schools that are ready to try something different in this area, start with them, and then let the results speak for themselves.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Robert. This has been an insightful conversation about alternative school breakfast.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you for joining us today. To hear more insightful conversations and innovative ideas when it comes to improving educational outcomes, please subscribe to AASA's YouTube channel. This episode of AASA's Courageous Leadership Conversation was made possible by a generous grant from the Walmart Foundation.